Bryce, this is big news. Big news. You heard the news?
You heard the news.
You did hear it?
It's incredible.
It's big news.
I'm in the loop.
How the heck did we pull this off? Thanks to our presenting sponsor, T-Mobile.
Big time.
I'm all giddy. It's TexAgs Rewind. Fan show guys are in the house. Hello, gentlemen.
Morning.
Buddy.
This guy over here missed some time. Thought he'd go to Europe and, check out soccer matches and drink a lot of
German beer.
We're happy to have you back, Roy.
I'm happy to be back.
We had a fun show. A lot of talk about horns down. And some people are for the horns down, some people against it. Somebody started the conversation. Actually, I threw him under the fire here. Sorry, Matt, about that. But we talked Heisman watch as we always do. Thank you to Shirtliff Law Firm, by the way, for doing that. That was always a good time. Breaking down the Heisman candidates there with OB. Also, how about a Michigan fan? Like a Michigan fan in Michigan calling our show because he wants to come to an A&M game coming this weekend to the Auburn game. Chris, he talked for a while. He had some good stuff, but we're going to welcome here at the TexAgs tailgate. We also got it done with our good buddy Ryan Swope, Aaron Torres on the college football rankings and where everything else at. And anything you guys want to add before we go to the sound?
Well, and then, we've had to end it all with a fan show, so it was kind of a fizzle, I guess. Go from Aaron Torres to us, so we're sorry.
Yeah, you guys upset a lot of people.
We're sorry.
They called you what, jock? What was it?
No,
Talk jocks?
You're the
jock.
jock.
That's me?
That's you.
We're just boomers.
We're just irritating. Enjoy.
Yeah, we are.
Number 5, I'm putting Sam Hartman, the Wake Forest quarterback. His team's undefeated, and he's probably the main reason. He's passed for 2,475 yards and 22 touchdowns, also rushed for 208 yards and 6 touchdowns. And again, the Demon Deacons are unbeaten. I don't know how long they're going to stay unbeaten, but for now, he's playing really well. Number 4 on my list, I had to drop Matt Corral, the Ole Miss quarterback. Now, he was playing hurt last week and still threw for 289 yards and a 31-20 loss to Auburn. He also ran for 45 yards and a touchdown. This is with some kind of knee issue. He has passed for 2,203 yards and 15 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 519 yards and 10 touchdowns. Very good for a quarterback.
So where was he a couple weeks ago? Number 2? And
number 2, and
yeah.
One time I was, wanting to put him number 1. But I think I have to drop him down. I've got C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State quarterback. I got him number 3. He's going
rising.
up. Yeah, he is. 305 yards and a touchdown in a 33-24 victory over Penn State. Overall, 270 yards passing and 23 touchdowns.
Yeah.
My number 2 guy, first time I haven't had him number 1, is Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback. They were idle last week. Young has thrown for at least 348 yards and 2 touchdowns in each of the last 3 games, having a huge season. He's thrown for 2,453 yards and 26 touchdowns with just 3 interceptions.
And really, the only reason he dropped to number 2 is not because of how he's playing. It's because somebody else
he was idle last week, right?
Right.
But Kenneth Walker, the Michigan State running back, the Wake Forest transfer, man.
Imagine where they'd be with him.
197 yards and 5 touchdowns in that 37-33 win over Michigan. I've always said you win the Heisman with how you perform in the big games. Anybody can put up big numbers against certain opponents.
Right.
But how do you do in the games that are spotlight games against good opponents? And he went off. He also caught 3 passes in that game. Excuse me. He's averaging 149.2 yards per game, and that leads the nation by average per game. And I think he's second in the nation in total yards. He's rushed for 1,194 yards and 14 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker.
So here's where I think some of these will change over the next couple of weeks. Wake Forest is about to have their tough stretch of games. I think they're taking on North Carolina this weekend. The toughest part of their schedule is coming up. So depending on how they handle that, I think will determine a lot with what happens with Sam Hartman. As for Kenneth Walker, same kind of deal. I think he has put himself no matter what. I don't know about no matter what, but it looks like he's going to be a New York invite. But they still got Ohio State. Mm-hmm. They still got Michigan.
No, they played Michigan last week.
Sorry, not
Penn
Michigan. They have Penn State, sorry. But those are 2 games that they have. And Penn State, they're not the same team that we thought they were early in the season. But those are 2 games still on their schedule that I want to see how they play in those. And as for Bryce Young, is Auburn really the only major test for them? I guess LSU this weekend, if you consider LSU any kind of test.
Well, if you've seen the way most teams have been lighting up LSU's defense,
he's going to have
he should have a good game. I think Walker, you're right about, we'll see about him with Penn State and Ohio State coming up. But the other way to look at that is, man, those are 2 games that give him a chance to just almost nail it down.
Hey, let's do this. Let's go to the BCSI hotline. We are joined by Chris, who wants to talk about his trip here. He's coming for the Auburn game from Michigan. And he wants
Michigan?
Yeah, from Michigan. Chris, good morning. Welcome to TexAgs Radio.
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing, guys?
We're doing well.
Man, you're happy.
Hey, listen, we're coming. Me and my wife was nice enough. I have a beautiful wife. She said a couple months ago, hey, how about on your birthday, we do a trip to go see Auburn, Texas, A&M, because I know you want to see Allen Field. And I said, yeah, absolutely. So we're leaving tomorrow, coming in the morning. And I was just I'm a complete outsider. So I'm just kind of wondering, we'll be Friday. Obviously, we're going to the game. It's 2:30 local start. And we're just wondering some ideas of maybe things to do at restaurants or around campus. Or, again, we're complete outsiders, just asking for a little bit of help. I know when I've traveled before, the tourist attractions aren't the best. Word of mouth from the locals is usually the best for restaurants and stuff. And I just want to get some ideas and what you guys might think would be a good idea. I know when they used to play Texas, I'm an older guy. I know they had the big fire, and I know they had the death, unfortunately, quite a few years ago. I don't know if they still do that on Fridays or just some ideas, and I would really appreciate it so much. Hey, please.
Chris, first off, welcome to town when you get here, and we hope you stop by the TexAgs tailgate, which we'll be doing here on Saturday. Just come by our studio offices, and you can look that up. It is basically across the street from Kyle Field, so come by and meet. I'll be there. OB will be on the radio, so he won't be there. But why? It sounds like you're not an Aggie, so A, why are you listening to TexAgs, and thank you, and B, why this A&M trip?
Because I'm a huge college football fan.
Gotcha.
I guess I got to admit I'm a Michigan fan. And huge Michigan fan growing up. Big college football fan. I've done some of the SEC trips. They've been the best. Been to Tennessee. Been to Alabama. Want to go. Always loved watching games from Allen Field. It's a huge stadium like Michigan Stadium is, and I'm just a huge football fan. I'm a big Michigan fan. Always want them to do well. Grew up under Bo Schembechler and all that, and I won't bore you with that. I know Texas A&M made him an offer back in '82. You guys are probably too young to know that, but
no, I'm not.
It's an interesting dynamic because I love college football, and I love just the enthusiasm that people have, and I've always just really enjoyed Texas A&M, and I love Texas. I was in the service for 4 years. I won't ramble on here, but I just love the Texas people. They're proud of their state. They're proud of their country, and I won't get into it too much. But I just always like my wife loves Texas. She absolutely loves it. So it's a great fit. I can't wait to see, like I said, the field and the stadium and just the fans seem like they're awesome. It seems like we're probably gonna have to stand the whole game if I've got that correctly. If I know my Texas A&M stuff. So, hey. Man, it's just something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to see the field and Allen Field, and it's going to be a great experience. I know it is, and we hit it pretty good in my opinion because Auburn's a good team, and and I'm certainly not going to be rooting for Auburn. That's for sure. I'll be rooting for Texas A&M. I'm going to get myself a 12 jersey because I love the 12th man. I love the tradition, and I'll be rooting for that 12th guy down there on the kickoffs and everything. So,
hey, Chris,
I'm not saying I know all about college football, but I'm an old guy, and I love the tradition. Hey,
Chris, couple things for you.
Yes,
I'm going to recommend you go to our YouTube page. We're live right now on that page, and I'm going to have our people who are watching on there give you some suggestions just in case OB and I don't come up with a bunch of them here on the radio. Dixie Chicken, obviously.
Bush Library.
Yeah, the Bush Library would be great.
Go to Yale practice.
Library, yep.
Do you have Yale practice on your agenda?
No, that's what talk to me about Yale practice, please.
Okay, so Yale practice will be done, obviously, the night before, Friday night. Come to Kyle Field and just soak it in. That's all I got to say.
Visit the monument.
Yes. Yep.
The monument for the bonfire monument. I'm sorry?
What time does Yale practice start? Midnight.
It's midnight Yale. It's midnight Yale. So you get there about 11:30, get to Kyle Field and start filing in. They start Yale practice at midnight.
Outstanding.
And just go by Northgate.
My day, man. You have no idea.
And let people listen. you can just, if you have questions, you can find anybody and just ask and tell them and Aggies are always helpful, and they'll give you all kinds of advice and directions and whatever you're looking for. Don't be shy.
Hey, Chris, we got to drop it right there, my friend.
Guys, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. I mean, if you guys were coming up to Michigan, I'd open my doors for you and tell you I'd be the same way, because I love college football fans. And, like I said, I think we're all in it. I'm not big on pro. Of course, we got the Lions up here. That's why I'm not big on pro football. But
all right. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Guys.
Well, I mean, I think that our as efficient as our run game has been, I will say our backfield has gotten it done. Week in, week out, they bring their lunch pail. They come ready, whether it's catching the ball in the backfield, whether it's chipping a linebacker, or utilizing some of that speed on the outside, or just yak in general. I think that Achain and Spiller definitely have gotten it done. I also think that this weekend we're going to be really relying on them to show up, because every time they show up, we win the game.
That is true, Ryan. They do bring it every time. All right, so let's look ahead here at this game coming up this weekend. A big challenge here in Auburn. Who's going to get it done?
Well, shoot, I'll take that backfield and that offensive line. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Look, this Auburn football team is a really good football team. They've improved. I think that they've got really good linebacker play, and they've got a decent defensive line. I think it's going to be a good test for our offensive line to win that battle up front. Come out. We need to be flying off the football out the gate and really, win the line of scrimmage. And I think that if we can do that from the get-go, we can kind of control our own destiny and control the clock, and then that'll open up those big plays down the field for us.
Well, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, because A&M and I know Alabama's like everyone's talking about. Well, if Auburn beats Alabama, they're going to Atlanta, and like if Auburn wins out, that's factually true. I don't think anyone's taking into account that A&M is an Alabama loss from going to Atlanta themselves. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's accurate, right? Like, because I feel like nobody is talking about that in any way, shape, or form. And so I bring it up just because I get it, right? Auburn, a couple big national TV wins. Now, I could pick some of those apart, and I have, and Auburn fans are currently mad at me right now. They were outgained by Arkansas, won by like 15, 16 points. LSU, they were down by 2 scores going into the fourth quarter, win that game. Ole Miss, we saw kind of the Lane Kiffin goofy, fourth down stuff last week. So I'm not trying to discredit what they've done, but what I am saying is you can kind of poke holes in a lot of those wins. So going on the road, College Station, CBS, we're going to learn a lot about this team. I think they're ahead of schedule with Brian Harsin, but I've seen some stuff of, dark horse playoff if they win out, blah, 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 blah. They still got a lot of tough games left on that schedule.
Aaron Torres with us here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers on the BCSI hotline. What did you think of the rankings that came out earlier this week? And let me just preface it with this. Rankings are dumb. They're just good talking points on radio. We'll find out when these teams play each other and eliminate each other. But for now, where Cincinnati was, where Oklahoma was, where, Michigan State was.
Yeah, a couple things. One, I use this analogy, David. I don't know if it'll make Aggies fans mad or not. My sister always used to tell me that I was the favorite of my mom, and I never really believed her. And I said, parents don't have favorites. What are you talking about? And then I saw Alabama ranked at number 2, and I said, okay, I now get what she was talking about. Because, listen, I mean, it's not to discredit what A&M did in College Station a few weeks ago, but I believe Alabama has essentially played one complete game all year. That was against Mississippi State it was the week after A&M. 2-point win at Florida, easily could have lost that game. That Tennessee game going into the fourth quarter, a 1-possession game at home. And it's not to say Alabama should be 27th or something. It's just that Mississippi State is undefeated. Michigan State is undefeated. They have that big home win against Michigan. And I'll say this, like with Cincinnati, they won at Notre Dame. And we can argue how good is really Notre Dame is in the top 10 of these rankings. And I just felt like with the Cincinnati situation, the committee is already setting things up where if Michigan State loses to Ohio State, they won't fall that far. If Ohio State beats Michigan State, they're going to move up big. If Oklahoma does what they have to do, they have room to move up. More than anything, I feel bad for Cincinnati. I don't think they're one of the 2, 3, 4 best teams in college football, but I do believe that in the initial poll, with the data that we have, with the win that Cincinnati has and how good it looks, I thought they were a little bit screwed. I thought they should have been higher. I thought Michigan State should have been number 2. I don't believe Alabama is the second best team in the country. What are you going to do? I get it. Alabama on a neutral field would be favored against everybody but Georgia. But, they were an underdog at A&M, and look at what A&M did. And so I think at some point the results on the field have to matter. It doesn't feel like Alabama was dinged in any way, shape, or form for a loss to Texas A&M. And it doesn't feel like Michigan State's been a Michigan State, frankly, Cincinnati or Oklahoma is being credited for winning all their games either.
All right, thanks to our friends at T-Mobile for bringing you guys and us. We're going to watch it as well. The TexAgs Rewind. Anything we want to do to end the show, guys?
Well, I mean, you know how we're going to watch it, right? We're going to go. We're going to like it. We're going to subscribe. We're going to share it out with our friends. And
we're going to comment.
Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe.
Thank you for helping the algorithm. I don't speak English today. Goodbye. I'm moving.